I gotta say, I am so proud of the momentum we've captured over the last 18 months. And when I reflect on it, I think it starts with our values. Do you agree?
I completely agree. And I think that the way they've sort of organically evolved has been one of the most exciting parts, and that our associates really feel them. Do you remember when Neil, it was some meeting, I don't know the specifics, but he said, we're going to be a values-based organization and not a rules-based organization. And it occurred to me, and I think it occurred to you all too, that we were already starting to live by sort of a set of values that we needed to formalize a little bit more. But it's amazing how quickly they've taken root, don't you think?
I think so too, because in order for us to transform our business, we have to bring our people with us, and they need to understand what's important and what we value, and then help our leaders understand how they can get the best out of our people so that our best people can show up doing their best work.
Absolutely. I think integrity is a big part of that. Doing things the right way the first time, doing it the right way the first time and every time. We've made some governance reforms that really speak to some of how we're approaching integrity and just making sure that we're earning the trust of our shareholders and of our customers.
Sort of punctuating that trust.
Yeah. We've refreshed our board of directors. We have more board oversight of ESG and the Earthlight program. We've changed our compensation programs, which, by the way, I think you all know, we have Earthlight goals for every associate who's on the incentive comp program. We've got more focus now on data privacy and data security. So in a lot of ways that we're trying to reflect that value of integrity in everything that we do.
One of the things that stood out for me when I joined the company is the commitment we made to be a stronger company and a better company coming out of the pandemic. What have you seen, Diane, over the past few months of how we're doing that?
This is a bit cliche.
I'll allow it.
But, I think there was a lot of goodness that came out of the pandemic. I think it actually accelerated some of the change and the transformation that we were trying to accomplish. And I think it changed us from a leadership perspective too, in terms of lessons learned, and just being a little bit more willing and frankly more confident to do things differently.
Like what?
Like Acuity Anywhere.
Good point.
Because when I joined the company, and Barry, you could really speak to this, we weren't particularly open to the notion of large portions of our workforce working remotely, and we weren't confident that they could stay on task and really produce what we needed. And then COVID forced it. One thing that I'm really proud of is that the company kind of, in that moment, figured out what could be the advantage, what could be the opportunity embedded in that sea shift. And really optimizing the way we use our real estate, figuring out how we could update and really innovate around our associate experience, how they're spending their time. Maybe commuting 2 hours a day isn't that great. And I think flexibility, just the willingness to say, it's outcomes, not activity. Like, I don't need to see you at a desk. What I need to see is how you're contributing to what the company's trying to do.
Right. It was having metrics that made sense, that showed how you supported your customer and achieve the results that you agreed to, were important to helping your customers, right? So it wasn't about where you sat or your location. It was about the results and the outcomes, as you said.
Exactly.
I recently hired a new person on my team, and that person traditionally in our old setup would have been here in our headquarters location.
Right.
But she's an awesome person. She has great talent. And so we're going to be able to have her join Acuity from another state. And I think it's a testament to our ability to think beyond what we once knew, but to think about what's possible so we can bring the best talent to our company.
Well, and the ability to attract talent from anywhere. and to say with confidence to them that, you can live in California and be remarkably successful here if you're a technologist. And so it's opened a door, and frankly, it has helped us control expense from the standpoint of we don't have to relocate everybody. And the team has stepped up, and I'm talking about in entirety, the team has stepped up around how do you onboard people that aren't sharing an office down the hall? How do you think about your management rhythms in terms of keeping people connected to the company and to the mission? But that talent opportunity, and as you know, we've been so fortunate in being able to bring in some remarkable talent in the last 12 months. And when we bring in great people, they bring in other great people. And so we're really starting to see a lot of momentum there, which is really exciting. Puts a lot of pressure on my organization to make sure that we're creating the environment where they can really be successful. But it's fun to watch that talent influx.
We're right there with you. As I think about transformation, I'm also thinking about how we're communicating and getting information to them. Mm-hmm. And our team has done a remarkable job. One of the things we're thinking about is not only how people work, but where they work and how we can use technology to get information that we may have done before face-to-face.
Right.
Or may have been in some kind of hardcover or turning a page fashion, to digitize that, even not only on a desktop, but how we can use our PDA devices and other technology to make sure that we're communicating seamlessly, and then also welcoming our folks into the organization in a way that celebrates the talent they're going to bring and help them embrace our culture. And I'm really proud of that work.
I think one of the things that's really cool about what we're doing, and it's an overused word, but we talk about how we're transforming Acuity. And we're transforming we're starting with the experience for our customer and how we deliver to them, but that insists that we transform on the inside too. So, you really can't give the customer an experience that you don't have on the inside. So that's raised the bar on my organization, to build a function that's easy to do business with, to enable managers to be the best managers they can be, to give the associate a different experience when they're signing up for their benefits, which have been enhanced, and there's just so many opportunities for us to think about that transformation, not only in terms of the impact on the outside, but on the inside of the company.
I think, Diane, too, for an associate to feel free, when they bring their whole selves to work, they feel more free to bring their ideas and to think about, what's the art of the possible, right?
Yeah,
how can I do this better? And that's one of the things I love here is the curiosity and the drive to just keep improving. You don't start out perfect, but you keep improving and you innovate and you serve customers. And again, I think for associates to feel comfortable and know that they'll be heard and that it's okay to share their ideas and to raise your hand and volunteer to go drive a project. I think that's all really important to get us.
Yeah, curiosity as a value, I think, is pretty unique. Because to your point, Barry, that sort of insinuates it's okay to try things, it's okay to fail, it's okay to put yourself out there. And I see people doing that a lot every day now. And I think it's going to create different opportunities inside the company for us to move faster and to do more and to do things that are pretty remarkably different from what is expected of Acuity.
I'm in my 25th year here at the company, and I've been interested in sustainability for most of that time. Earthlight is the name that we've given to our environmental, social, governance, and sustainability program. And for us, it's not just a separate program where we check a box to improve our governance score. Every day, we make better living and learning and working environments, and we do it by using less energy and saving more carbon emissions than ever before. We make spaces safer, we optimize building efficiency, we make plants grow, we fight germs, we connect people with each other and with the things that they want and need. We think we have a really special mix of opportunities here at Acuity Brands to make the Earth a better place. We have a long history of energy efficiency and sustainability. On the lighting side, for example, we led the transformation first from incandescent to fluorescent, and then from fluorescent to digital LED technology. Energy efficiency, sustainability is really at the core of what we've done for a long time, but we've not always been as explicit in telling that story. So that changed a couple of years ago when we published our first Earthlight report. And through that report, we decided to shine a little more light on these efforts. And then when Neil joined the business to lead us about 18 months ago, he brought his passion for the environment and he helped accelerate those efforts. So we have a lot to share, real excited about it, and I look forward to talking more about Earthlight and all the accomplishments over that 18-month period.
You know, Barry, we often joke that when we think about the general counsel, we're thinking about governance, and that's natural. But we don't often think about the passion for our environment, and you've led the charge there. Diane, you have a story about when you first met Barry.
I do. It was actually here on this campus, and I sat down with Barry, and I sort of had some expectations, but Barry explained to me how he had this passion, around this, and it wasn't just something he was kind of doing on the side. He was really serious about it, and he went into a lot of detail, and it left an impression on me because it was something I didn't know about the company until I sat and talked to Barry. And then you've just really stepped up and stepped into all of the additional opportunities, because I think, we've continued to look for the intersection between our strategy and kind of what some of those great opportunities are.
There's so many people at the company focused on it. I'm glad we're talking more about it through the Earthlight program and the Earthlight reports that we publish now. There's thousands of people driving it every day at the company, and it's fun to see the results now.
Yes.
We've achieved carbon neutrality in our own operations, which is exciting. We've saved tons of steel and aluminum from focused products design efforts. As you noted, we've announced our goal to get to 100 million metric tons of carbon reduction by 2030. So an ambitious and exciting goal. We've taken care of our people throughout the pandemic. So their health and safety and well-being were really important throughout that time. While we did that, we helped keep our customers' warehouses and stores and hospitals running. So really important focus on the community. We developed a portable healthcare lighting that went into COVID field hospitals for the U.S. Army, which we are now donating for field hospitals and for other use throughout the Americas now, as they're continuing to fight in the pandemic.
Don't you think that makes our associate base really proud too? To be connected, because that's one thing I've learned is most people, when they're considering a company, they really are very interested in the purpose that company serves and the good that it does. And now, I think we have this evolving great story around what we're doing. And I get asked about it all the time. And people want, more excitingly for all of us, and particularly for you, Barry, they want to be involved and be part of it. And that's been, the council that we have. Every week I notice there's new names of new people that are really involved in this effort.
You're going to hear more about it because we've changed our front door. So when you come to our website now, we're telling that story in a much more prolific and a much more exciting way. And I've been really proud of the questions that we're getting, because people, we've always had great stories. Mm-hmm. We kept them inside. And so now we're telling folks about it. And I think that's important because you want to be relevant. People want to work for a company that's also relevant in terms of what we're doing to stay safer and greener. And we're doing that. Mm-hmm. And now you see it front and center when you come to our...
Makes my job easier.
Yeah, so we're doing that. Barry, when you think about where we're going, what are some of the things that are next?
There's a lot. on the way. There's a lot that's ongoing and more to come. One example that's a pretty exciting story is a group of people who are, they put their hand up. It wasn't me saying, hey, go figure out how to reduce our paper consumption. A group of people put their hand up and said, let's attack this process of putting 4 pieces of paper in every box that goes out of our doors with luminaires. So instead of 4 pieces of paper now, we have a QR code right on the product, right? So
you can just take your phone and scan it.
And now you have instructions not just at the time of installation, you have it throughout the product life cycle. And we think it'll save around $1.7 million and 24,000 trees every year. Just because people say, hey, this is wasteful. Let's figure out how to do it differently.
Do good for our company, do good for our communities, do good for our planet. I love it. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the sea change that we've seen in society around belonging. No matter where you live, where you work, where you play, where you learn, and we've brought that conversation right in here to Acuity, and we're living it out in many ways. We all sit on our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council, and we wear many, hats as a part of that council. And I got to tell you, I was really struck by our latest meeting of our employee resource group, Pride, which, I am the executive sponsor. And, what I heard, which was very encouraging, is that our associates are seeing a change in our culture. And the words that they used were, it's a much more open environment. It's a much more progressive environment. It's a place where our leadership is doing what we need to do so they can show up and feel like they can do their best work. And, you don't want to pander.
Right.
But you want to create the right environment to do that. And what are you seeing across your organizations in terms of our employees embracing that?
I think there's a comfort level, and there's a curiosity about what's this change really mean and what should I do with it. And I think we're stepping into it really nicely, that it's about the power of diversity. It's about the power of inclusion. It's not about the words or checking the box. It's about what happens when you create an environment where somebody can bring their whole self to work. You really get a boost in what they're capable of. And, the other thing that I've seen over and over and over, and I've seen it here now, is it's hard work to create diverse teams, people with really, different backgrounds and different experiences and different perspectives, because that has to be processed.
Right.
It's much easier if you have people that think the very same way. They'll reach a conclusion pretty fast. But the benefit of having those perspectives and knowing how to manage them and appreciate what somebody else is saying gets you to a much richer outcome. And that's the appreciation that I think we're building, that there's real opportunity for our company in this. It's the right thing to do, but there's opportunity in being really good at this and making it a good place for everybody.
Barry, when you first met me, you said, why do we need to have a communications leader? I did not take that personally. I viewed it as an opportunity. What do you think now?
I'm thrilled you're here. In fact, earlier we were talking about the new associates that have joined the company and how much it's added. And my first thought actually was about you two, because I'm really impressed with what you two have brought, and the change. The pivots in that period have been substantial. We were great before, and now we're at another level. And I think we've got a lot planned as we communicate more of what we're actually doing. Around developing people, around how we hire, around how we mentor. All of those things. I think people will be even more excited going forward. But I'm very proud of what both of you have brought.
Thank you, Barry. It's fun. I think that's what's so awesome, is that I think we really are changing things and taking them, as you said, to the next level together, and it's fun.
One of the first questions you asked me was, Candace, how are you going to lead us on this journey to cool? Letting people understand our commitment to transform our business, getting our people ready to execute on our strategy, which we call better, smarter, faster. And what's exciting to me is that we're equipping our colleagues with what they need to do their jobs well, whether it's where they work, whether it's providing them with the tools that they need to do it well, and then also providing them with the information and a commitment wrapped around our values to understand and identify solutions to our customers' needs so that we can be smarter, orienting our use of technology so that we can work well and work smarter, but ultimately to get everyone aligned so that we can get to where we need to go faster. And that's exciting to me, and I'm really happy that we had this time today to talk about it, because it's a good reminder that the best days for our organization are being formed right here, so that when we deliver on what we're setting out to do in space and light, we're going to be well poised to do it and the other things to come.